Friends, I welcome you back to Kadu Dundagi. Some people have put it this way. They will say, same mass, new words, but in-depth words. Words that bring out the significance of worship. The new translation, if you go from page to page and look at what the church has offered us, you will begin to see the significance and the meaning of the words that we will be hearing at the end of this year. The church has worked assiduously and diligently to provide us faithful this new translation of the Holy Mass. That was why Kadu Dundagi invited Father Antonio Sonko, a great lover of the Mass, and we can even call him a great liturgist, to come and explain to us why these changes. And then we will look in particular some of the changes. For example, as I said at the beginning of this program, very soon you will hear, the Lord be with you and with your spirit. We will no longer say, and also with you. Now, if you look at the Latin text, Dominus vobiscum, the response is, et cum spiritu tutu, and with your spirit. The same thing applies to the Spanish, the same thing applies to the Italian. All Latinic languages have that same response. But when it came to the English, the last translation was 16th March 1975. From then on, we had the words, and also with you, which is far from the Latin text. Now, the church is bringing us back so that this translation is as closest to the Latin text as possible. Father Sonko will now tell us why. I started by asking him why these changes. Let us listen to this conversation.
Some years ago, I think it was during the time of Pope John Paul II, I think they had seen that with all the translations that were made, it was the English translation that was a bit away from what the original text was. And so there was this desire and this this great desire to have it done in such a way that it would be closer to the Latin texts, you know. And so the Pope John, in year 2000, there was a time he gave the authority or authorized the English-speaking countries to look at their translation and to see in what way they can bring that translation closer to how we understand it in Latin. You know, so since that time, the people have been working on this. The English-speaking countries have been doing their best to work on these translations, and that's how we came to that's how we came to this translation now. That's right.
Since the year 2000, that's a long time ago.
It's like
about 11 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm quite sure there must have been debates in terms of words.
Yeah.
Some people would have not maybe liked certain words. Yeah. So that is why it has dragged up.
During the work, in fact, you'll find out that they had couple of books that they named. Well, the first translation was in what you call green books, you know, and then after the green books, they did some other adjustments again, and then they came with the other book they called the gray book, you know, all leading towards what we have now. And all those was the adjustment they were doing and the changes that we're making, so just to have the text reflect the Latin meaning, you know.
So who can we say, for example, we know the one that came in 1975. Some of us were very young.
That's right.
Some popes are behind, you know, effecting these changes. Who will we say is the one who really authorized or really wants the English-speaking text to be as close as the Latin is?
That's right. I think if I can remember, it's Pope Paul Pope Paul VI. I think if I can remember. I'm not too good at history, but if I can remember, that was it was around that his time that they saw the need. I think they had already seen the problem, but it's like everything they just took their time, I suppose, allowing the Spirit to lead them to finally say, well, yeah, there's great need, because this translation needs to be done in such a way that it will give the people a deeper understanding, a deeper liking, a deeper loving for the mysteries of the Christ love that we celebrate at Mass, you know, and so the work began since that time.
Okay, so now as you have said, the essence is to get the text as close to the Latin as possible.
Exactly, and close to Latin, because in the Latin you find out people really appreciate, you know, the meanings what the Latin texts were all about. You know, and so in the Roman Rite, I think that's the encouragement, so we can go back to that Latin, so that the meanings, the profundity, the understanding would give the people a real grasp of what is taking place in the celebration of the Mass. So it was very important that, well, it was very important during the time. And so when the bishops looked at it and looked at it again, they saw that, yes, definitely, there is need to go back to that Latin, because I think it's only the English language that only has that problem. Exactly. All the other translations were, not perfect, but close. They were closer to the English text. I cannot speak the other languages, but I saw the text. I have it here.
Okay. Maybe when we go in, let's begin with one of the most apparent and visible change that everybody, if you come to Mass on that Sunday, you will notice is, the Lord be with you. Now the response will be, and with your spirit. Your spirit.
That's right. Dominus vobiscum et cum spiritu tuo. I think, yes.
French, you understand a little bit of Seigneur soit avec vous?
Avec votre spirit. Yeah.
The spirit is there.
Yeah, you speak French. I didn't
a little bit. And the Italians will say, il Signore sia con voi e con il spiritu tuo.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Spanish also has something close, and they also have the word there, et spiritu tuo.
So now why for us English? Because some people say, the Lord be with you and also with you is meaningful to them, because like you greet me, the Lord be with you and also with you. Yes. Why is the church now taking us back very close, of course, to the Latin? Now we know why.
It is, yes.
And with your spirit.
With your spirit. That's right. Because I think the church wanted the people to also, when the priest says, the Lord be with you, like the priest is saying to people, the Lord's Spirit be with you, the Lord's Spirit encourage you, the Lord's Spirit strengthen you. And so with thy spirit, it's that the return of that same spirit to the priest, because the priest is ordained. And that is why this dialogue is only between an ordained minister, ordained priest, and the people. A non-ordained minister cannot say to the congregation, the Lord be with you. You know, it's only an ordained minister. In exceptional cases, you have a deacon. Maybe deacons, yes, they can, in exceptional cases. But most of the time, the priest. And so with thy spirit conveys that desire for the people also to guide, to pray for the priest, that the priest also receive that same spirit, the spirit that they are with, that same spirit to guide the priest in the work that he has been entrusted to do within the church. So that was the desire of the church and the desire of the Pope at the time, or the popes, to encourage people to come back to that, to have that deeper understanding of what with thy and et cum spiritu tuo is. That's why they wanted it reflected in the response, not to just say and with your and also with you, and with thy spirit was more, it was stronger and has a deeper meaning and reflects more the translation, Latin translation, and what it intended at the time.
Well done, Father. That's great. And then if you look at the Confitio, the penitential act, or the penitential rite, you will see that now again, since you have explained to us that the whole idea is to get as close to the Latin as possible.
That's right.
We've seen the changes, and with your fault, with my fault, and with my most grievous fault.
That's right. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Again, the desire there was to come to the Latin, you know, and to be able to really, you see, when you repeat something and lay stress on it, it makes more meaning than just saying it once and forget about it. And when you look at it, in fact, in those days I used to hear people saying it, but I was not too confident. Maybe I was too young when they were using that. But it was only when I saw this text, I said, aha, you know. And as soon as I read it, I thought it made more meaning to me than just saying, you know, that simple little text, what I have failed to do,
and then
you know, and then you go. But with this one, it makes you think, it makes you reflect that yes, I'm really, it's my fault, my grievous, and I'm not like, it's like not blaming any other person. Here I am in presence of my God, and I'm saying to